My name is Paul Walker. I represent an NGO here called Green Cross International out of Geneva, Switzerland. We're in about 35 countries. We've worked the chemical weapons destruction issue and chemical safety and security for well over 20 years now. Seems like a long time, but it was in the early to mid 1990s when I first got started in this whole situation. I've known Christophe Patouret, Ambassador Patouret, and also our other colleagues here, Galimi, Ambassador Moria, and our Pakistani colleague for a number of years. And all I want to say, because I'm on the run to our own open forum, which is over in the IFA room at 1:30, actually, I want to say that we have worked closely with the Polish colleagues here on this, and particularly with Christophe Patouret, who some of you may recall was the chair of our third 5-year review conference here in the OPSW, and led the Office of Special Projects here for 7 years or so, I think. We all met in Poland, in Warsaw, the advisory committee and board last April, I think it was, or May. I also went to Tarnów, Poland, a little over 3 years ago when we had, some of you may have been there for the founding, sort of the founding big event of the International Center on Chemical Safety and Security. As far as we're concerned, chemical safety security is extremely important. After demilitarization, which hopefully will be over with in the next 5 to 10 years, fingers crossed, and we're working with our Russian and American colleagues on a lot of those issues. We really think that chemical safety and security is the issue, and I think the recent crisis in China, in Tianjin, brought this out, and the 125 people killed in the big explosion, you may recall there in chemical storage, emphasizes this all the more. The two issues I really wanted to emphasize before I go on this project is that, number one, we're working our best to depoliticize all of this. This is not something that necessarily we should think about in liberal, conservative, or national terms. It's really an international challenge, and I think one that industry, NGOs, the environmental community, the public health community, diplomats, lawyers, the legal community should all be on the same page on. And so the statement that we're working on a declaration, along with my Iranian colleague, Ambassador Fatahan from Tehran. We're working on a draft here, and I'm not going to read this for you now, but just wanted to say, number one is to depoliticize the issue, no matter what your politics, where you're coming from. You need to get involved in this. And number two, we're trying to make it as inclusive as we can. One of our biases, of course, in the NGO world and the non-governmental world is that, in fact, everything should be transparent, open, and inclusive with all stakeholders, meaning industry, governmental officials, and non-governmental officials, and non-governmental experts and academics. So we're working to make the center in Poland that way, and we're also working very much to make the fair and conference, which will take place next April, which will all be very open and inclusive. We'll have a large NGO group there, the CWC Coalition, which I helped manage here at the OPSW. Many of those will be there as well. And you'll hear us speaking in plenary session in a variety of these issues tomorrow during the NGO session. So thank you, Christophe, very much for having me say a few words.